Oh boy, welcome to Chart Monkeys, guys, the official weekly CyberKong show. Live right now over on twitch.tv/Chart Monkeys. We're on YouTube, I think, at Chart Monkeys, all those places. I have a quick request, guys, a quick special request from you. Would you please cut this out? Please stop, dude. I am trying so hard to get back into DEATHSTR, and I can't wait to talk about some moves everybody's been making, but I'm trying so hard to get back in, and I fought it. I fought the FOMO all day yesterday, and especially yesterday evening. I'm watching you guys in Discord, and you got me today, dude. FOMO'd right back in. Henry, this is wild. How you? First off, how you doing, man?
Yeah, good, man. Always happy to be here. Another episode of Chart Monkeys, and yeah, did you already say if you're not following us on X, check us out at Chart Monkeys, at CyberKongs? I think we did all that already. Yeah, wild, dude. Wild days. Yeah.
It's working. Fair to say it's working.
Yeah. Of course, it's working. We're 8 days in, right? So we're 8 days in, and we're less than 1% off of the most amount of tokens burned of any strategy token. Keeping in mind, which is DEATHSTR, I think they're about 26.8%. We're at 26%, maybe 26.1 or something like that. You got what are we at right there?
You're
20, almost 26.1. And DEATHSTR, which to me, second to Punkster, is like the most successful token strategy token, because they're actually eating into their vault, which is good. But they've had, what would you say, 4 months now, 5 months, give or take.
Yep.
8 days, and we're almost at the same place as far as burn goes. So, dude, I don't know, man. This week especially, it's been like my head's on a swivel. I was talking to Adzi this morning. I'm like, okay, so I'm like in Discord, then I'm going to X, then I'm going to the chart, then I'm going to the DEATHSTR page to just try to stay up to date on like where it's at as far as what the next buy is. I'm happy that we added the notification in Monkey Business where you can get the alert. So if anybody's in DEATHSTR and you're like, man, I'm tired of watching, you can come into our Discord. You don't have to be a holder, and you can get the alert to know when the protocol has bought an NFT. It won't tell you if you're the winner in the queue, but it will tell you like, okay, you can check. That way you don't always have to be checking. But dude, I don't know. It's just, I think back to, it was either last Monday night or last Tuesday night when we had dipped down to like 150K market cap. And, you're just not sure at that point. It must have been Monday night or Tuesday night, because I remember we did the show the next day, and I was feeling like, okay, like we're coming out of that, and to be here at basically all-time highs right now, it's like, okay, we're able to show that it's working. And I'm not in the queue. There's a protocol just bought another captain.
Damn, you're in an interesting spot. You're at like post-launch, and post-launch great teams, that's now like the start of busy time. Like you were busy ahead planning and building and getting ready for launch and like doing a marketing campaign like leading up to it. And like, you see those different teams, like those, I'll say lesser teams, things out, and then it's just whatever, it's out. But the great teams, the teams who are actually building a thing and is like a real thing. No, you flip the page to that other side of the work, which is maintain and iterate on it and keep making it better and keep engaging with the community like you've been doing. But it's like it's full fucking throttle still. What are the big updates you guys have implemented this week? Because I think there's been a lot.
Yeah, we've had so many updates since launch that I think where we're at right now. Okay, current updates are, we have the bot that at least notifies you, if the protocol purchased. I think we'd like to see that where you could actually be notified if it's your wallet that's selected. So like that's definitely something that's being talked about and worked on. Okay, so we know that there's a 1 million token entry fee into the raffle. But that was after our last show. I think we started that last Friday, if I remember correctly. Dude, to be honest, I don't think we've had a major update to it. We've gone 2 seasons, and like there's things we do want to update, things that we've talked about, like being dynamic with the raffle entry price. We have to do that. But
you shortened the seasons, right? Like, didn't that get shortened this week?
That got shortened starting on Friday. So yeah, you're right. after Moonbirds, after Moonbirds, we went to the shortened season. So we did Moonbirds. From Moonbirds, we went to Doodles. From Doodles, we went to Mutants.
Yeah.
Mutants, we went to Nakamigos. By the way, and this is what was really cool, because when Mutants were selected, we kind of knew we're going to get a handful if we're lucky, right? Because like volume usually slows down after day one. So it was like you kind of have to take this and sort of like push this in the direction that you want the community to take it, because you understand the controls a little bit more. So you're like, okay, what we need to see is what does this look like when you go after a lower priced collection, because then more people are getting the opportunity. So like Nakamigos, that was the first opportunity where we got to see DEATHSTR with, let's call it like normal volume, purchase multiple NFTs. And in doing so, I think we finished with somewhere between 57 to 60 Nakamigos. Well, it's 57 to 60 opportunities people had to be able to get a Nakamigo and do what they want, collect it, sell it, whatever. And then people started to see what this thing could actually do. We moved into Cool Cats, which again had a bit of a lower floor price in comparison to, like, let's say, Pudgies or Apes and things of that nature. And it really started catching. Keep in mind, there's still, dude, I think less than 300 holders of the V2 DEATHSTR. There's still people who haven't migrated from V1 to V2. So we had 2 seasons where people got to see what happened with lower priced NFTs. And I think it's starting to click for people. We're seeing more people come in from the Punkster community, who, by the way, and I want to get to that maybe a bit later, a lot of them were kind of like salty about it. And I think we've got people kind of coming around to the idea that, like, we did market this as an ominous, aggressive protocol. It's the DEATHSTR. What's it going to do? The thing is, what it's actually doing is being fairly supportive of projects. If they've got good bids out there, then what's actually happening is, like, it's driving attention to those collections. It's bootstrapping the protocol, and it's working. Like, don't have to take my word for it. Just look at the chart. This is artificial. This isn't, KOL induced, chaos. This is just a community that's decided this is something that they find valuable and, more importantly, fun. Dude,
yeah,
I had so much fun with it. Just like, it's fun.
Dude, the Discord is somebody said last night it feels like 21 NFTs, and like you'll get that vibe here, like really rarely, but here and there you'll find that in pockets in crypto and NFTs. And this is that. It is capturing that energy again, where everybody's really, really excited and everybody's rooting for each other and everybody's playing the little PvP too, but it's like really great energy. It's awesome. And like the way it's clicked, like you were saying before, that ominous kind of thing, and people are being really defensive about their bags and questioning, like, good, bad kind of thing. Like, this is bad energy. If it were that, a guy like Warner wouldn't have come to it, wouldn't have flipped his thoughts on it too, right? Good guy. But it took him seeing that, what you were saying, he's like, no, it's bringing attention to the projects and it's bringing that liquidity to the projects, and it's getting people into these collections at a discount, and maybe more on that here soon. But like, that's a great stamp of approval that he's like, I see it, I get it.
I've chatted with Warner. I like Warner. I'm not going to profess that, like, Warner and I are best friends. Like, we've gotten to know each other because of Atari, who, like, we're friends with, and like, we're obviously, dude, what's really funny about Warner is I've realized by getting to know him, like, I would have assumed through what I've seen with him, and for people who don't know Warner, he's, big into GVC, very supportive guy, right? Hadn't really seen the degenerate side of Warren, and dude, by the way, he's a full-on degenerate, like,
Yep.
full on. So, like, we've gotten to know each other, and like, he's asked great questions about the Kong's ecosystem. He came in, which was really funny. I think Warner is the first guy to rage buy a Genesis Kong. You have people that might rage quit. This dude came in and rage bought because there was some funny, if you want to call it, like, I'll use the word drama with Sammy, right? And it was funny. Warner came in rage buying, and he came in, and I think what he discovered is, like, if you come from GVC, which is always hopping, right? There's a good thing happening in GVC. That in this kind of market, like, GVC is where it's at as far as, like, community vibing, that sort of thing. To go into another Discord and see the same type of thing happening, but it's a different flavor. Like that's chocolate or vanilla, however you want to look at it. It's the same thing. It's just a little bit different. And it's not about catering to, like, let's say, good vibes. It's about just catering to degen culture. And not to say that GVCers aren't degenerate, but like the GVC Discord's different, right?
Right. You can only get so degenerate there. Like, right. It's just that you some of the stuff you can't do there. And it's like kind of anything goes in the Kongs Discord.
Kind of anything goes. And, we've got the Pokemon crowd, and we've got the alpha sharing, and we've got great guys like Ross in there sharing. I think Ross was sharing Belmondo's when they were free or at the least 50 cents. So you got guys that are winning there, bull or bear. And anyway, the point is, like, he came in and he saw it and he's like, oh, I like this place. And he wants to know more about it because, like, he was not all of that familiar with, like, the Kong's history. And the point to that is when a guy like that comes in and then sees what Kongs are about, it's just cool to see because we already believe it and we know it, but we drank the Kool-Aid a while ago. It's nice when somebody else comes in who's maybe not as familiar with your ecosystem and they start to drink the Kool-Aid. So, yeah, I think this original idea of what people thought the Death Star was is actually turning into something very, very different. And, like, there's been projects, I said it last time, that want Death Star targeted at them. And I think for obvious reasons, like it's some attention, it's some volume into the collection. And I think, like, we need to see, because any of the issues that we've had with Death Star when the season starts, when voting ends, and when I say like issues, I'm talking like, we're all people that want to see everything happening as it should right away. There's been a few little bugs between the bots that work behind the scenes where, like, something isn't happening correct. Like the connection, I don't want to say the connection's not there, but, like, maybe there was a failed transaction and it only can have 3 failed transactions before the bot's like, I'm not doing anything anymore. And then you got to go in and you got to debug and you got to look at the logs. And I'm not doing any of that, by the way. That's, guys like Sven and Felix going in to, like, look at what's happening and fixing it. And so point to that is we want to run through, like, at least one full season of, like, everything is just smooth from beginning to end. Before we, at least this is our stance now, before we tweak things like lowering the raffle entry point, which is absolutely on the table. Like, you don't want the entry point to be so absurd that nobody can be in on it. So we're listening to the community feedback. We've had tons of it. Some of it has been really great. Some of it is like, okay, we were talking this morning in a team call about some of the ideas that have been shared, and some of them start to get complicated where you're like, man, Kongs have always been complicated, right? Like, our ecosystem is complicated. We want this to be as simple as it can be. So, like, you can just get in and kind of understand it versus there's 100 levels to how you can game it. So there's a balance. And I think that's what we're kind of working to achieve is the balance between it works, it's rewarding, it's fun, it's engaging versus, like, oh, that's a great idea, but it's also really complicated and it's going to take us 15 minutes to explain it to you.
What are some cool ideas you've heard that you think are like doable?
Well, okay, I don't want to say this is doable. Well, anything is doable, right? But there was an idea of okay, I'll try to, like, run through this quickly to not take a ton of time, but an idea where whatever your trading volume is in a season counts as extra raffles towards that season. Okay, so let's say you committed 1 million tokens, right? If you trade 1 million tokens in that season, whenever you reach that, because it would cap at whatever your initial voting power, your staking power is, whatever your trading volume is can basically, let's say, equate to extra raffles that that would be equivalent to, like, what your stake is. Okay, if you stake 10 million, then if you traded 10 million worth of tokens, you could essentially get like 10 extra tickets in that season. It's an interesting idea. I don't think that idea in and of itself is, like, the idea because, again, I think it works, but it also is like, okay, picture you're trying to tell this to your buddy. You're like, okay, here's how Death Star works, right? The basics of a strategy token, but it lists it 20% less and all that stuff that most of us already know. Then you get into like, how do you buy the NFT? Okay, well, to buy your NFT, every 24 hours, every 36 hours, a new vote opens for 24 hours. And you have to commit a minimum of 1,000 tokens to vote, but 1,000,000 tokens gets you a raffle into the queue to be able to buy that NFT that's listed 20% less. And for every 1,000,000 tokens, you get a raffle entry, right? 10 million tokens staked, 10 raffles. Okay, that in and of itself to us, because we eat, breathe, and sleep this, we know it. But to somebody else, you're going to have to go back and explain that a little bit, right? Yeah. Well, then if you then add what I just said, which is like, okay, and then on top of that, your trading volume in the season could equate to what your initial stake is. And it's not that it doesn't work. It's not that it doesn't make some degree of sense to trigger more volume, because volume is what feeds the protocol. But it's like, okay, do we want to make this so complicated that like, you know, that like that it can start to get like, okay, what do I do? What do I got to do? Okay, then I got to claim my tokens again the beginning of the next season and restake them. And there's a lot to it. And so like that idea, I think, is a great place to be able, and we talked about it this morning, Whirly Girl, dude. I love seeing her in the Discord, by the way. Like, yeah, absolutely love her comments. That idea, I think, is the type of thing that seeds other potential ideas into what you can do. One idea that I had, actually, I shouldn't even say I had it. I think it came up in a voice chat in Discord the other night, was like, we haven't seen an NFT get sold to the Genesis Kong collection yet, right? Because after the third wallet, Gen Kongs can buy it. We haven't seen that happen because like everybody's like crack addicts. They're glued to their screen. They're not letting it happen.
It's the best, dude. It's so good.
I'm like, it would be cool if, okay, you get the 3 random wallets, right? The 3 that win the raffle, 1, 2, and 3. Then Gen Kongs are always 4. It would be cool to me if 1, 2, and 3 were picked, right? And that the Gen Kongs are always the 4th, let's say, right? In essence, the Gen Kong collection, any holder is the 4th wallet. It would be cool if that could be randomized, where the Gen Kongs could potentially be number 2. Maybe they could be number 1. Maybe they show up number 3. But that they're not always number 4, because I would love to see it pass through 3 wallets and actually get to the Gen Kong collection for somebody who maybe isn't a holder.
Yeah.
But that complicates things too, right? Because like, number 1, that may be able to be botted just like everything else. And the whole purpose of this was to kind of keep it fair and not botted. And like, if you're not a Gen Kong holder, then you're going to hate everything I just said. So
I've seen some of that, like a little pushback. The Gen Kongs maybe get too much, and I argue there's no too much for Gen Kongs. Like,
they got nothing.
That's the top dog collection. I mean, you know, yeah. But dude, even I wonder if you could do like the team itself has a stake in DEATHSTR, right? And so the team itself has an entry, and any that are won there, those go to, you know, a raffle or something for Genesis Kong. So there's probably 100 ways you can do it.
Yeah, there's here's what's tough. It's like, I don't have a great analogy for it, but like, we've charted our course, right? If you're looking at this objectively, and maybe even if you think of it from like the team's perspective, to get to a higher market cap, 5 mil, 10 mil, wherever this thing goes, right? There's a journey to get there. That journey is infinitely more difficult if that journey starts with like 0, right? Like if you're not doing any volume. So I think what we're seeing right now is like, okay, we've made it past the channel. Okay. Whenever you're like taking a boat from port out to sea, like there's a channel and there's channel markers. You want to stay within those channel markers or you're going to run aground. We've been through the first few channel markers and like we're staying in the channel. We're not out to sea yet. But I think the good thing is we're seeing like, okay, we see the channel markers. Let's just keep it between the red and the green buoys and let's get out there. But while we've done that, we've had some, oil leaks. We've had the check engine lights come on a few times. We had a couple dudes sleeping in their rack when they were supposed to be on watch. And so like, there's been these little things that have happened where it's like, all right, let's just get out to sea. And then these other cool ideas, of course, man, like if you know Kongs, we put this thing out there, right? If you don't think that the idea behind it is to always look to see how to make it better, how to have it benefit holders, if there's ways for it to benefit the actual Kongs community, like, of course, like, these are all things that are in play, but like, you can't do too much to it while you're still in the channel, because like, you got to get out of the channel before you can start pretending like you can do victory laps. We are not there. Like, I want to throw some high fives out there because I'm happy to see like we're making progress, but we're still a long ways out from like, okay, we're doing awesome. But we are absolutely hitting metrics we want to see. We've got to keep pushing on X. We got to keep, letting people know what this is. There's a ton of dude. If you are familiar with DEATHSTR, I think you're in a very small percentile of people that know about it and see that it's working. So I think it's incredibly early, and I think we're just gonna, again, get through a season or two with where it's flawless on the back end, and then like, bro, then like any and everything could happen, and it's exciting because like, I think, and sorry, dude, I know I'm just like going off on tangents, but like, it's exciting because this is where you want Kongs. This right here is where you want Kongs to be, because this is who we are: tweaking, tinkering, finding the thing that we can do that makes something successful, because like, we're decent at it. We're decent at it. And I think we have the ability to mess around in this space in ways that other people are maybe afraid to do. Like we talked about it before, not everybody could pull this off, right?
Yeah.
We're not afraid to tinker. And I think if we keep seeing what we're doing, then like, who knows, man? Who knows?
And you weren't afraid to get the backlash too that you got,
No.
right? And I know other projects wouldn't risk taking that on. So DEATHSTR's in the very best fucking hands here, that it's in the CyberKong's hands.
You could argue, so like, if you look at TokenWorks, and of course, like, this brings me back to what I was saying about Punkster. I'm happy to see we've had some Punkster people buy in. But if you saw some of the comments from some loud people, I'm not saying they represent the Punkster or TokenWorks community, but there was a lot of FUD about how we were not giving, a percent of the protocol to Punkster. And if you really think about that, and by the way, for anybody listening, if you hear that from anybody out there who's kind of like, crying about that, think to yourself, like, how does that make any sense? Tell me what thing in Web3 ever has had that happen. Is everybody giving up a percentage of their royalties to punks or mooncats? No. Is anybody giving a percentage of their royalties or any fees they make to Kongs for really putting like, combining a token with an ERC20 with an ERC721? No. Like, just because you created a meta and just because you were the first to do it does not mean that you are entitled to what everybody else does with it in perpetuity. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So that idea of not giving back to their flywheel just doesn't make any sense to me. It's no. Dead on arrival in my mind.
There's so many like takes like that I can't make sense. And it goes all the way back to when DEATHSTR first launched, and people were fudding it for being negative and saying like, we love experimentation, but I'm like, there's no but. If you love experimentation, like you should be rooting for this right off the bat. And I think people just say things and they don't really like, they don't believe it. They don't understand what they're saying, right? Again, if you're in Web3 because you like the experimentation and people playing and breaking stuff, first off, if you didn't do it, we wouldn't have seen that this is the best model of strategy tokens, right? If you weren't willing to stick your neck out there and try, we wouldn't have it. But you do it, and people are like, we like experimenting, but not like this. It's a crazy take.
It's what you just said is what I actually believe, that what you're seeing with DEATHSTR, while it wasn't something that was the original idea of Adams, right, when he launched Punkster, which, by the way, like, all credit to Punkster for and Adam for putting this idea out there and giving us all something to play with. But I think what we're seeing in those strategy tokens is it works for some people, works for GVC. I think it works for Quirkies. It works for punks, right? For Punkster, though it's not affiliated officially with Larva Labs or whoever's owning it now. I think what we're seeing with the strategy token is the real version of it. I think what we're actually seeing is what it could have been from the start. Now, imagine this. You're in DEATHSTR at whatever market cap it's at, 1.7 or wherever. Like, think of the potential of the strategy token refined to actually its purest form, which is giving back to the people that are part of it. Not just like, hey, I'm speculating on it, but giving back in a, in a random way, right? Through the raffle system. Because this entire protocol could have been made where the protocol is the only thing that eats. It sells it into bids. We left that on the table purposely for the holders, right? We just got it wrong from the beginning because bots could get in on it right away. So what this actually does is it's a strategy token that's indiscriminate of what it goes after. It does not care if the floor drops. It doesn't really care if the floor rises. It is just there for one, the speculative side of the token itself, but then the fuel that fuels back into the protocol with a randomized chance as a holder to be able to get an opportunity to buy an NFT deeply discounted or to flip it. You do what you want. And I think that very few projects could actually pull that off because they would probably look at it as like it's chaos, it's wrong, whatever. However, but I think what we're seeing is like it's actually a positive thing. So I think it is early. I think not a ton of people know about it. I think they will. I think it has the potential to be unavoidable for people to be talking about it.
So to that point, yeah, this is something, man, yesterday in Discord or day before, but we were talking about how, how many people are not talking about it yet. Kongs are talking about it and very loud. The biggest names on crypto Twitter are either avoiding it or it's not on their radar. And I don't think it's not on their radar. I don't think, but there's a point where they can't not talk about it because the token's doing so well and because the collections that it targets end up doing crazy numbers. And I'll pull up Cool Cats here, and I just scroll through the activity in the past 24 hours. And do you know the number off the top of your head how many Cool Cats were sold?
It was over 30. It was either at 30 or just over 30.
Yeah, I mean, it's a ton of sales. And then I scroll back to before they were targeted, and it's like 5 to 10 a day, maybe. I don't think it's usually not 10. And it's showing the volume that's driven there. And then again, I was looking at floor price. It was up, I think, like 10% at one point. And then if I go to captains, I think it was up 20%, almost 20% this morning.
Yep, it was.
And it's 7 now, but it's up. The activity's up. So all those people, I'm going to bring up like Tyler Did It, who I love Tyler. I love it. I read his newsletter every morning. I think he's a great dude. He's covered this, but not mentioning DEATHSTR. He only has covered the NFT side where he's like top NFT mover in the past 24 hours. This Cool Cat's up whatever percent. And I assume this morning he is top NFT mover is captains up again, 20% or whatever. At some point he has to talk about why they're up because it keeps happening over and over. And I'm like, dude, that's when the token gets really spicy, when a guy like that has to talk about it and then his peers have to talk about it because it's working that well. And I think that's coming.
The best part about this entire thing is like we built this knowing that, like, first off, we've been faded for 5 years by KOLs and shot callers. Like that part is not unique or new to this experience. It's always been like that. Like it's always been like we can make noise, but rarely do those people take part in it, right? You're not going to get a Farouk or a Thread Guy or any of those kind of people like actually talking about it. The last time I think we made major moves that were beneficial to people was during Ordinals when we did Prometheans. But since then, SEC, right? And then our rebrand, you really did. Dude, you know how many people I tried onboarding during that time? There was virtually no support. So it's not surprising to me that those people are not taking part or talking about it. But when we built this, we knew that we're not like, oh my gosh, now they're finally going to come in. I don't care that they come in. That's not part of this. This was about the people in Kongs, the people that Kongs are like friends with, the grungy degen side of Web3. This was about giving them an opportunity because those people are not listening to those people for the next thing to get in. Those people are in the trenches. They're looking for the next early thing, right? And they want to get in early because they know by the time those other people, the shot callers, start picking it up, well, then I don't want to call them normies, but then the normies come in, right? And everybody is trying to front run the horde of people that get in because their favorite influencer talked about it. So I think it's awesome to see with such a low holder count.
What's it at?
285 right now.
Okay.
I think if you include the V1 people, which haven't migrated, that's another probably 200 or so there. Well, I mean, if you look at the V1 on Etherscan, you'll you'll see more than that. But if you look at how many of those wallets hold less than one Death Star, there was like 35 of them. So I think you know what, dude? I want to look it up.
Because Gecko Terminal, I don't think is accurate. It's showing 2.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why it shows that. I'm gonna look up the old contract real quick just to give you. I'm gonna assume we're around like 450, 485. That number's been climbing, but keep in mind, I'm including the V1 people who have not migrated yet.
Yeah. So on the V2, 285 right now.
Yeah, 285. I don't know why people haven't migrated V1 yet. That's fine, but I still count them as holders because they have tokens. I just got to find the original. Here we go. Okay. One sec here.
Yeah.
But I think the greatest part of this experiment is that it is where it is despite those people that we're kind of referring to taking part in it. And to what you were saying, I think there just comes a point where it's unavoidable. Where like you got to talk about it because it's making waves and it's doing well. So 172 holders of the V1 that have not migrated, and about 30 of those with less than one Death Star, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, so let's say 140 over there. Yeah, probably 425, 435 actual holders. And that number's going up. That number is going up. So I think from the metric standpoint, I don't think we could ask for this to be doing any better. And again, it's still very isolated. But to your point earlier, I think when you see guys like, when you see people like Warner coming in, seeing what Kongs are about, understanding that this isn't about being like assholes to the space, that this is just about having fun, innovating. That's a good thing. Like, that's a good thing when you start getting, and by the way, if you come into Wall Street Kongs, and if you're listening, come into the Cyber Kongs Discord, come into Monkey Business. I will give you a temporary role to come into Wall Street Kongs, because I think when you see the activity in there, when you see what's been going on, and keep in mind, in less than 2 weeks, that Discord has been going for 5 years, literally. So when you come in there, just know like that chat has had an ongoing chat 24 hours a day, literally 24 hours a day for 5 years. And guys have been winning in there. I saw Ross was in here, Kong Control. If you see him in our Discord, he's one of our alpha callers. That dude, him and I joke around a bit because I'm ranked number 1 in Discord for chatting. He's ranked number 7. You don't get there by exiting the Kongs Discord in the bear market when it's slow. You get to that place in Discord by being there no matter what. There's always people there, but like we have people that have been grinding in the slowest periods of time and winning in the slowest periods of time. Dude, I didn't even realize like it is painfully slow outside of there because I've been so in the cave that I'm like,
dude, it's fucking dead out there on crypto Twitter, and all the KOLs are making their posts about how dead it is and why it's dead. I'm like, it is for you guys. Sorry, but it's pretty crazy in the Kongs Discord.
You owe it to yourself. I've said this on multiple spaces. It probably gets dry hearing it, the same take from me. It's probably boring as hell. But the thing is, most projects are in this for a brand play. They're a brand. They are a business. You are in that Discord to support the business, to support what they're doing. And you are hoping that whatever that business is doing is going to make the floor price go up, because that is how you make your money in that Discord. You should not buy a baby Kong or a Genesis Kong. You shouldn't be buying that hoping that asset appreciates. If it does, amazing. Like, great. We're happy for you. You buy that because that is your entry into one of the most successful Discords in Web3, and a place where you should be able to make that back. Again, look at Del Mundo's guys printed in Kongs off that. Look at Ordinal. I mean, dude, Vine, Peanut, Trump token. We've had guys make millions in there off of early calls. I'm not saying you're going to, but what I will say is, like, if you're looking for a place to sharpen your edge, if you're looking for another tool in your toolbox, I think a baby Kong's like 0.15, 0.16, and literally, what is that right now? $300.
Mm-hmm.
$300, you can make a gamble on whether your skills are good enough to follow the chat and actually and actually do something for yourself. Don't wait for me to do it. Okay. Like if you're waiting for Henry the Grape and the rest of the team to be able to like come up with the next thing that actually makes you a ton of money, you're probably going to wait a while. But I'm telling you, that Discord is filled with people that are across all, like literally, dude, Solana, DeFi, ordinals, ETH mainnet, new mints coming out, whatever it is, farming a new blockchain. Promise you, you will be early in Kongs if you pay attention to the people that have like the alpha role, and not just them. There's other people dropping, alpha in there, but we've got guys like Ross who are consistently bringing good plays to the table, and it's fun. It's just fun.
To this day, it's the best alpha Discord, and it has been for years. But to this day, to your point, 5 years in, still is. It's fucking great, dude. Man, I live in this little fantasy zone where I like to picture what this looks like in I don't know, 3 months, 6 months, a year. I don't know, but I hope one day this thing can get turned on. Well, I guess you said it'll never get turned on CryptoPunks, but I'm sorry, it just gets fun to think about what would it look like if DeathSTR bought a CryptoPunk and we're offering it to, the stakers for a 20% discount. How spicy would that be, right?
Well,
like how spicy?
I think like we did say that they were immune, but keep in mind like what this has become versus what we thought it could do, right? Because like it's an experiment. We didn't 100% know what direction things would go. Personally, I would not be opposed to having punks on there. The problem with punks is that this thing, dude, we're crackheads, right? Like if you go into the Discord, okay, I'll use Sammy as an example, right? Sammy's a legend in Kongs, and that I don't know if he's sleeping anymore, but he's glued to his screen right now. So am I, by the way.
He's up right now. Sammy's chatting right now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course he is.
Yeah.
This is that thing. DeathSTR is that thing that you can't take your eyes off of because, like, it's fun. You're watching something that's like slowly gaining momentum. And along with that, you don't just have to watch a chart. You're watching for the next buy. And then when that buy happens, you're watching that liquidity get injected back into the chart. And then you're trying to see, like, am I in queue to be able to buy this thing? So, the point to that is like, I think that this is one of those things that has been missing for a while, where it's not like, oh, I'm waiting for an airdrop or I'm waiting for this. We thought, when we rebranded post SEC and we're like, we need to get the ship back on track. There was a part of us. Did we think we were changing the world with Kong, with the art evolution for babies? We didn't think we're changing the world, but there was a part of us that thought that it would be fun for people to evolve their art, to get a token and evolve their art. And the thing is, like, it is fun for some people, but what's fun for people is when they watch their bags grow. That's just a part of the space. And you either admit that that's part of it or you're blind. Right. And so that part wasn't the fun of it was short-lived. I think what we're seeing now is, more conviction in the team, more conviction in the idea of what Kongs are, because to bring this way too long of a rant to a close, everybody else that's playing for that other thing, and I'm not saying their Discords aren't fun, right? But there isn't that thing to like keep you glued. And right now we have that. And I'm seeing it in the new holders we're getting. Like, dude, I'm giving temporary Wall Street Kongs passes, and like within a day, a lot of people are buying a baby. They're like, I don't need this pass. I want this thing.
It's crazy. You're keeping the community fed. You're keeping them entertained at the same time, keeping them plugged into the alpha from all over the space, and you're just building that trust with people. And they're getting back into NFTs because of it too, which is so fucking beautiful, because that's still my biggest love here in the space is the NFT thing. Jenny Kongs are up almost 30%, in the past 24 hours. It's incredible. 2.5 ETH floor. And the evolutions are up almost 22%. I need to get one of those. I still don't have one, and I'm not going to evolve mine because I love them too much.
You should.
I know I keep it. I'm not.
Yeah,
I know you can flip it, but like, because it changes the token, right?
Yep.
I can't. I saw I think my first ever baby Kong. Just looked through my history, right? So I went back and I looked at him, and he looks different now if I follow that token, right?
Yeah.
I can't do that to my favorite one. But they all look good, and it's just wild seeing people collecting because they're having fun, and that's the whole point of NFTs.
Dude,
it's beautiful.
The thing that when you're getting into a new mint right now, right? A new community, And there's like a few that, like, I reference GVC a lot because I recognize, I mean, I've been around for a bit now and I've helped, I'm not responsible for the Kongs community. The community is responsible for the Kongs community, but like I've helped to kind of build that community, right? I mean, we were in there early and we've seen it from a few hundred people in Discord to tens of thousands. You can recognize when you're a builder when somebody's got something that can work, right? GVC has that, by the way. They have that thing that works. I think Quirkies has that thing that works. Their Discord isn't crazy active. Their X chat is, okay? There are communities out there that have that thing that works. But in the new stuff that's coming out, you don't know. It is always, you're like on a knife's edge wondering, is this thing that I'm getting into, Del Mundo's, right? Do they have staying power? Is it sticky enough where 8 months from now, it's growing? I don't mean floor price. I mean the community, because like the floor price is what it is, man. It's just what somebody's willing to pay to kind of come in. You don't have to guess or wonder with CyberKongs, like, is it sticky? Is there staying power? Sorry, my phone's ringing. 5 years, man. Like the blockchain does the talking. We don't have to. And I think that's one of those cool things for people who aren't familiar. Like, you don't need to guess. You don't need to guess, like, does the team produce? We've got a resume. You just need to look at it. ChatGPT it, man. ChatGPT Kongs. Don't take my word for it. Go out there and ask AI about it. My wife did it the other day because, frankly, she doesn't know tons about Kongs. And she's like, wow, I'm actually impressed what it had to say. Like, it's not putting us into the rug category. It's putting us into the builders, innovators, into that category, active community. And I think it's special, man. I think it's really special. And I think when you look at your competition, if you want to call it that, I don't think we have competition. We are not trying to be what so many other projects are trying to be. That's great for them. They probably have the people to do that. We don't. What we are is everything we just talked about. And if that's something that people like, come in. Dude, that is the longest shill ever. Sorry.
By the way, no, I need the shill, and I think everybody loves the shill. Maybe, so you say you can't do what they can do because it's not the same people, not the right whatever. I don't think any of them can do what you've done here. I don't think another project like strategy tokens, look, you can kind of copy print those or copy paste them and make your own strategy tokens. And they work. Just again, it depends on your community. I think very few, if any, projects could come in and do this exact thing. Just copy it, implement it, 20% discount. Whatever. I don't think anybody could pull that off. I don't think so, because you need that underlying core fanatic fucking community that the Kongs have. And again, I think I can think of maybe 2 communities out there, 3. There's not many that have that. So I don't think this is like, I don't think you can replicate the magic of this. No, and somebody puts that to the test, but I don't think you can.
I think we knew that, and that was the reason we launched from CyberKongs versus being anonymous about it, is because we're like, we need that brand power, that recognition that some people have for what we've done and who we are. And I think we're seeing it working. And dude, I mean, what the, I don't want to call it the struggle, but in some ways, like, running an NFT project is a struggle, right? You're fighting the haters. You're trying to bring visibility to it.
The same thing that got that Peter guy from OpenClaw to like just hate crypto, like that's the energy that you face as an NFT founder. It's the same people that approach you guys the same way. You know what I mean? From the outside. So I get that struggle.
It's tough because like not everything works. You could try a lot of things and they just don't work. This experiment, I cannot tell you how motivating it's been for the entire team. We've been through hell, man. Like, I not to talk SEC for a while, but like that was tough. And then to come out of that and then roll out what we did, which was a lot of work for Kong and Baby Evolution and rebrand, like that's a lot of work, and people may look at it and be like, eh. And I get it. I totally
think
get that.
Payoff comes later, by the way. I think the evolution stuff, this is going to fuel that, I think.
Dude, yes. And I want to get to that because you got to have some wins as a team. You got to be able to feel that what you're doing for your community is worthwhile. And like, you always have your supporters, the people that are like, man, Henry, I appreciate you, or Adzi or Sven or Mia. Like you always have your deep lovers because they are disconnected from the floor price. But they're always going to be like a smaller faction of it, right? You have people who never say anything. They're just active in the community, but they're not there to glaze you, and nor should they be. it's motivating as a team member to be like, we did something that worked. Maybe it only works for another day. Maybe it works for another week. Maybe it works for months. There are few teams that have been able to kind of catch lightning in a bottle more than once. We caught it when we did gens and banana and babies. We caught it then. We caught it again with VXs, right? Hard to do, but that was a time where you could do it, and it was a little bit easier than it is now. We caught it again with Prometheans and Decentralized. Like, doesn't matter where it went. We caught lightning in a bottle for what I would say is like the third time. I think we have a propensity to be able to do that. Not every team can. And this is the kind of thing that I think shows us as a team, like, no, you don't have to be the one who created the thing. You could take something, maybe you just tweak it a little bit and it becomes a thing. And so, yeah, it's really motivating, dude. It's been a wonderful couple weeks here. And like, dude, Kong, we're going to be doing a Kong season 1 Kong distribution soon. And to your point, all of those things that we were doing before that might seem like pointless or there's no value to it financially, no idea where it goes. But, while the Kong market cap is low, we're like, well, we still need to do our job and deliver to the community, right? And then it's in their hands. They get to decide the value of it. They get to decide where it goes. So we will be messaging really soon about Kong distribution. I think, the target, I had said in Discord, like, it's probably, we're hoping for like next month. I think what we'll try to do is maybe do something around, like, to me, we have a birthday coming up March 3rd, but then we have what put us on the map, which was the migration to the new contract, which was, I think, April 16th or April 17th of 21. And so I think it would be really cool. That was the launch of our original token. I think it'd be really cool to have a distribution around that time as sort of like our 5-year anniversary of, integrating our utility token with our NFTs. So we got that. That's going to be coming. Could have some new traits coming to Evos. Like, these are all things that like we're working on.
You got to bring some DEATHSTR traits into babies.
Yeah. By the way, anybody who doesn't know Mio, like, DEATHSTR is a passion project from the standpoint, like, we love Star Wars. Like, we as a team, we love Star Wars. There's a reason that it was kind of like framed this way. Mio is a massive Star Wars fan. We've been talking about Star Wars traits. So I think, yeah.
Dude, okay, that probably gets me doing a baby evolution if I can like roll into maybe like a Jedi robe or a Sith robe or a green or red lightsaber or anything like that. Like that could get me evolving, dude.
I told him the other day, like, it'd be cool to have like a Thrawn package where you could have like blue skin, red eyes. But like, honestly, the art side of it is, the art side of it's Mio. He's got to work within the limitations of like what the collection allows. And I'm certain that no matter what he comes up with whatever art he decides to do for it, it'll be awesome. So yeah, they're just another thing I'm looking forward to. And dude, I'm just looking forward to, like, DEATHSTR aside, Kong aside. You know me, dude. I feed off of the energy in Wall Street Kongs, and to see new faces in there, to see people recognize what we've done and want to be a part of it. There's just no better feeling, because sometimes you feel like you can't get that back because it's so hard, right? You see so many projects and everything they do, people on the outside are like, I hate that, grifters this, grifters that. This feels like people get it. And I think one of the beautiful things about DEATHSTR is you can't look at it as a grift. This is not this is a fair launch for everybody.
Yep.
And so like it's just, dude, it's been awesome. I want to ride that feeling as long as I can.
I bet, and I think you're going to. And what a fucking opportunity, whether you got in like day one, and even right now, like I said, I top blasted this fucking thing because I get it. I get how this is working and how, man, I'm seeing the opportunities you have while tokens are staked in the voting period, and that really interesting things happen there as the NFTs are sold and very little sell pressure. But what really hits me is how Kongs are just so fucking diehard. They got, like, the conviction in these guys is ridiculous. Like, at any point I'm worried that these guys might dump and take profits. No, their target's way higher than I was hoping. I wanted to get in cheaper. They're not selling. These fucking guys are riding this to 10, 20, 50 mil. Like, these guys are nuts in a good way.
There's a lot of
opportunities there right now, man.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that have, bags, whatever size, but certainly people who have larger bags that bought in really early that I think recognize. First off, I think everybody has been pretty. I said this in VC the other night. If you're worried about who the top holders are and what they have, all you need to do is come into the Discord and see, because those guys are in Discord. There's a couple wallets out there. I don't know who they are. But these people are, like, when I say in this together, it's not coercion or insider trading. I think people have conviction on what this could actually be. And they genuinely believe, like, no, dude, this thing is incredibly early. If you could see Punkster, what did Punkster run to? Was that a 200 mil market cap, or
250?
Did it hit 300? Yeah. I mean, like, crazy numbers on that. I'm not saying this goes there. I have no idea what it does. But when you look at where some of these things have gone with I don't want to call it a flawed system, a really long play, right? These are long-term conviction plays. And then you look at the mechanics of DEATHSTR, and then you look at the chart. I think you can, and then if you come in Wall Street Kongs and chat with these people who are some of the bigger holders, I think what you'll see is like a community that really cares to see this thing be successful. And like for me, every season, I just lock mine up right from the beginning. I've got when I say a decent bag, not compared to, some of the guys out there, but I just lock it up, and then I don't even have to think about it because when I say I'll put my money where my mouth is, I believe in this thing. I'm not selling into pumps. Literally season starts. I was in my car today with my laptop up when the season started, pulled over so I could claim my tokens and immediately restake it. Cause I believe in it, man.
Yep. Other deed looks like it's next. It's winning.
I committed to that.
Did you? Yeah. I mean, it's ahead by a good amount now, 65%. And it looks maybe like people are starting to front run that too, like a little bit. That's a perfect one. Again, they get enough volume, and they're cheap. They're on the cheaper end, right? That one could get some interesting action, especially if Adam notices and maybe makes a little comment about it. He's got a lot of other deeds, right?
Do you know something?
Spicy.
We made a change last season because we had made a change where you could only buy the same token ID once during the season. Okay. And what we saw with Cool Cats yesterday is as we had more volume come in and more Cool Cats were being bought, the floor was going past sort of the ARB opportunity. The ARB opportunity, the gap was there, right? Like you start here, you're in this window. Well, as you're buying higher on the floor, if the bids aren't catching up, less of an ARB opportunity. So you want there to be first you want the flywheel to be working, and you want there to be an ARB opportunity. So one of the things that we did is the same token ID can be bought more than once. I think devs did it this morning. I haven't fully caught up on exactly how it works. I think it's like the same ID can't be bought again within an hour. I think there's a time limit on when the same token ID can be bought. But what's interesting is as these seasons get voted on, we have no idea what the volume is, right? Oh, this was something I was going to bring up earlier when we were talking about it in Discord last night. Like, we don't know where the volume is going to be on any given season. But you got to make sure that what you were thinking when you put those votes in, when you put those 5 projects up and you're looking at the bid and ask and making sure that it makes sense, from an ARB situation, well, that can all change. That can go out the window if you start getting massive volume on a lower priced collection. So like last night we were talking about, captains was next, and then we've got this next line coming up. And I'm like, I know this is Web3 and it's on chain and it's all of this stuff, but in the end, like maybe, I don't want to say maybe we need another vote. But like, what happens if we get to a point, and I don't even have the answer on this, where it's like, no, you're getting crazy volume. The next collection coming up is actually something you wouldn't want it pointed at. You're actually at a point where you would want this pointed at apes or pudgies or something like that, because you've got enough ammo to go into it. And I'm like, what happens when we get there? Because if you started having, 12, 20 ETH to be able to deploy, well, I don't know that I want that deployed into Cool Cats, right? Because you're just going to, it will do what the DEATHSTR could do. It will legitimately crush the floor and have less of an ARB opportunity there for the holders. It makes me wonder, like, is there a nuke button where the Emperor comes out and he's like, and he overrides Tarkin, and he's like, no, we're going here
in the middle of the season. I think that'd be badass in the middle. If you're getting that
Like,
kind of volume, it's like, we're pointing this thing at Bored Apes now.
I thought of it last night. I was just, and I said it in Discord. I use that analogy. Like, if I got to put on the emperor robe and come out and be like, we're not going to, where are we right now? Captains.
Yeah.
We're taking this to Pudgy's. You could piss some people off because like it's an on-chain thing, but I think in the end what people want is for this to do what it's made to do and create the best opportunities. And that mentality that I had of you can't touch it, well, that goes back to what we've always been, which is like it's on-chain, you can't do anything with it. But the reality is with upgradable contracts, with proxies, with the bots behind the scenes, there are levers that we can pull and push. So it's like if you start getting crazy volume, but you've already locked into a lower priced, lower liquidity collection, do you just take the reins and say, nope, we're going after Pudgies because you can't line Pudgies up without volume and you don't know where the volume's coming from. So these are just some of those things that go through my mind. I don't know what the right answers are on all of them, but we'll kind of figure all this out together.
So quick question, maybe last from me here. To Whirly Girl's point, 260 million tokens burned. How do you think that plays out in the next few weeks? And what do you think that does for people? What do you think it does for token price? And what do you think that does for people on the outside looking to come in? Is that something that's like scary to them, or is that an opportunity to them?
Well, as the price goes up, if the price goes up, right? If the price goes up, then less gets burned every buy because, it's less DEATHSTR per ETH. So, I'm of the mindset that like burn is a cool metric, but I am not smart enough to be able to tell you, like, does it actually matter right now at 26% burned? Does that actually matter like right this minute? Does it matter at 50%? I don't know. Like, yes, it matters, but at the same time, I don't know exactly when we start to see it reflect into price. I feel like the burn, I mean, there's still 740 million tokens out there, right? So you're like, there's no shortage of tokens, but at some point, you think it comes into play. And this is where we need to be able to tweak the raffle entries and the price to be able to get in. I don't know. I mean, I think that's something that we probably have to look at and deal with much further down the line. But dude, within 48 hours, we should be the most tokens burned of any strategy token. And let's just even say that's going to be within 10 days of launch. So cool. It's interesting.
Cool. It's a good experiment. Like we've been watching these, tokens that burn supply and wondering how it plays out, but we've mostly not gotten to that point where we get to see how it plays out. Is it all just psychological and it's like, it doesn't have a real impact, or does it? And we're going to find out here. And it's just another reason to encourage people experimenting. That's how you get there,
Yep. Be cool to see.
Fucking awesome.
Be cool to see.
I love it. You want to hit some bullish bearish?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Sorry. We went full hour on Kongs, but
need it.
That kind of day.
Need it. Do you want to kick us off? I don't know where that
Yeah. Here we go. We're coming bullish bearish. By the way, one last time, I just want to say, if you're listening and you are not a Kong, come into Monkey Business. Tell us that you saw this on Chart Monkeys. I'll give you a temporary pass into Wall Street Kongs where you can come check us out, see what we're about, get a vibe for the community. But yeah, let's hit up some bullish bearish here.
Fuck yeah.
Bullish bearish, bullish bearish, bullish bearish, bullish bearish, bullish bearish, bullish bearish, bullish bearish.
Oh shit, I love it, man. All right, you're gonna have to set some of these up.
Yeah.
Told a Denny's waiter to round up to 70 cents for tip, and he used his employee discount on our order on the water. What happened?
Yeah, so basically, like, this guy's bill was $41, right? Or whatever it was. He told him to round up for the tip. And the employee then applied his discount to it, because then that employee discount effectively goes into his pocket. Does that make sense?
No.
Well, let's say if your bill was $45, right? And you rounded up to 70, so you're giving them $25, which is not exactly what happened here, but use that as the scenario. The guy went in after he gave the bill, he applied the employee discount, which dropped it by $13.84, but still rounded it up to 70.
Oh,
so he pocketed the employee discount.
That's fucking incredible.
I'm bullish on that, by the way.
That's game.
Yeah, respect the game, man.
Yeah. Yep. Played the game and won. Bullish. Meta's partnered with an AI that can keep a deceased person's account active and running, posting, messaging, and video calling by replicating their behavior and past data.
Yeah, they didn't
love
partner.
this.
They patented. They patented it.
Patented it. Okay. Yeah. This
We knew it's coming
reminds
anyway.
me- there was one that popped off over the summer. It was called Alleyway or Three Way. It was super viral. This thing got like 40 or 50 million views, and it makes you an avatar. And so this lady was like, she created an avatar of her grandma, and it was creepy as fuck, and people hate that. And it's coming. Get used to it. Just get used to it. I'm giga bullish on that, dude.
Yeah, I'm bullish on it. I'm sure it'll get scary in some ways, but I love it.
I mean, dude, just know that if your family doesn't do this to you, I will be doing this to you. So just
I love it. Yeah,
just
perfect.
the way it's going. Bullish. Very like real bullish. Married and own a home by 30 years old in the US. In the 60s, 52%. Today, well, last year, only 12% married and owning a home by 35. That's scary as fuck. The great resets here, dude.
Yeah, sad. There was another post by this guy that showed like the average home price by decade, and I think at this point the median price was $440,000 or something like that. Very bearish. I seriously so fortunate that like I wasn't born where like you're dealing with that. We're a little bit older, so we could kind of get into some of this quicker. Yeah, bearish.
Yeah.
I don't know how we get out of that.
Fucking crazy. New York City residents furious as giant snow piles melt, revealing streets filled with feces from what?
Think homeless people.
Damn. That's filthy. Was it not like that before he was in office?
I think it's probably like, I don't
That's
know if
disgusting.
it was like this before it was in office, but when the snow is out there and people are just, it's probably getting cleaned up more consistently. Go to that Grok is this true comment. I'm kind of curious.
Confirmed melting snow piles are revealing accumulated litter, garbage, including elevated levels of fecal bacteria. However, the claims of the streets littered or filled with feces are exaggerated or unverified.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
fair.
but bearish on New York. This is a bummer. New York's awesome. So I can't bring my own water, but a rotisserie is fine. Yeah, that's fucking weird. Dude, everything's just weird. How stupid.
Yeah. Like, okay. I'm bullish on the guy. He's hungry and he's got to get his protein. So I guess that's okay.
Isn't this like a pet carrying thing?
Yeah. I don't know. Thought it was a weird looking backpack. I guess it would make sense with the holes in it that it's for, but yeah. Okay.
Said it's his emotional support animal. Love it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this today. This is a coffee shop using AI to track productivity of their baristas, and then also how much time customers are spending in the shop. And we've got Olga here. Lazy ass Olga made 3 cups while Anna's running laps around her.
Anna deserves a raise. Olga, you might be on the chopping block. Dude, I don't want to say scary, but like, interesting that like you're just going to be observed and that like it's going to know what you're doing, and that's probably good. It's probably good for employers. Like, if you're a good employee, you don't need to worry about it. If you're kind of half-assed in your life, you may need to make some changes. I think I'm bullish on this.
Well, and they're training robots too, Whirly Girl. I mean, this is the thing, like that data that what they're showing, they're great, but they're training robots to do this. That's what that's for too. So bullish. Bring it. Fucking bring it. Nail bullets. Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Yeah. I need one of these.
I'm gonna go out.
I need
right
this
after make one.
survival kit.
Shit.
Yeah. I need this as the backup to the backup to the backup.
I wonder if they sell a kit to do that.
Look at this thing, dude. You shatter a ceramic mug. I mean,
dude, badass.
Yeah. I'm bullish on it.
Bullish. Real fucking bullish. Let's get on a quick call.
This one just hit me. This one just hit me. I feel like this is my life. And especially when like things are happening, then you're getting more people reaching out. And that is literally like the line, let's get on a quick call.
Yeah.
And that's exactly.
Half of them are bullshit. No, 80% of the calls are bullshit, I think. Right. And you just dread them.
Most of the time there just isn't, excuse me. Most of the time there just isn't a reason to, but it's part of it.
Bullish on the meme, bearish on let's get on a call.
Same.
Yeah. Scientists have now found all the DNA and RNA bases in meteorites, suggesting humans didn't originate from Earth. We came from space, dude. Fucking awesome.
I mean, badass. Science.
We're aliens. Also, Obama confirmed aliens, and nobody gives a shit. And it worked, dude. Their disclosure thing worked. That slow trickle over the past like 6 years and get us like so accustomed to UFOs, aliens are real, and all that stuff. And now he says it's real and doesn't register. It doesn't register. And now they're setting us up for COVID 2.0, which is like alien invasion is coming 2030 to complete the Great Reset.
Oh man,
It's awesome.
Yeah.
What a time
I saw
to be
the
alive.
Obama stuff, and I thought the same thing. Like, wow, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
We-
My
we-
my wife was watching it, and it didn't even phase her. She wasn't. I watched her watch it, and she wasn't even like, "Oh my gosh, Henry, can you believe this?" Anyway,
She's just
Bro.
like, yeah, okay.
this thing is hilarious to me. The
Penguin Olympics. Yeah. Are you watching the Olympics?
Yeah, a bit. Yeah. USA Hockey plays Sweden today. I'll turn the game on. I think it's soon or at 3 Eastern.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, I've been watching a bit, figure skating and hockey and some bobsleigh. Yeah. I tune in. How about you?
Watch none of it, and I want to. I just don't know what time, and I just been so busy. But like, I want to. Bad. I'll watch that game today.
Nighttime they run through it. You know, it's not all live at night, but you'll get the run throughs. But I don't know. When I saw this yesterday, it just made me laugh, dude.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, like
Anything. Yeah, cute. Love it. Bullish on that.
Great
And I think
gravity. The big
final
air
one-
competitions are wild. Yeah.
Oh man, hell yeah! All right, melting metal at 40 feet with a 1,000 watt laser gun. Where's the metal?
You'll see. You'll see.
Okay.
He'll zoom in on it.
Okay.
I mean, I know we all know that like lasers are real and focused light can cause damage,
Oh, wow.
but like, you know, how far off are we from like these being things that you and I could actually buy like in the store? I mean, look, this is kind of crazy. You could burn your neighbor's house down.
I've got an illegal laser.
Okay.
And it's pretty strong. It's pretty fucking strong. If I don't have the correct cap on it, it hurts to look. I don't even look at it directly, of course, but it hurts to even like look at it, even pointing a different direction. It's so bright.
Could you take out like, okay, imagine you're in your window of your house and then you have it pointed at your neighbor's house and you just decide like from whatever, 100 feet away, you're going to torch this thing.
I wonder if it could do that. It's one of those really powerful green lasers. You can't sell that. You can't buy those anywhere now.
Sorry, I mean like this thing this guy's holding in the video.
Oh, this thing.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild. I want one, dude.
A little bit.
I want one. We used one to shoot down a drone or a UFO. Last week I think we talked about it, but over Texas, El Paso.
Yeah.
So badass.
No, it wasn't a drone. Wasn't it a
They said it was a balloon, but it's
yeah,
bullshit. It was
yeah.
some kind of craft of some sort. It's wild
yeah.
shit. I think that's the last one. I think so.
That's
So
it.
just bullish bearish on fucking DEATHSTR and the Kongs community. Just as bullish as you can fucking get, and just more
Bullish.
every day.
bullish? Yeah, man.
Fucking so bullish. There we go, guys. All right. One last time, go to Chart Monkeys on twitch.tv. Give us a follow over there. Go to the CyberKongs account on X. Chart Monkeys also on X. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. All that good stuff. We love you fuckers. We'll see you in Discord.
Fun stuff, dude.
Goodbye. We'll see you guys.